All right, what's up, Gator fans? So, big game for the Gators this weekend as they head to Jacksonville for the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. I know we're not supposed to call it that, but I'm never changing that. That is the best title for a game that is played off campus, that has so much rivalry and pageantry and festivities involved with it. If you have not been to the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, get there. Put it on your bucket list. Okay, so as big as this game is for UF, it is probably biggest for one person, right? UF's head coach, Billy Napier. Let's talk about that today in this video presented to you by BetUS. Okay, so let's rewind a little bit and talk about kind of the end of some of our previous coaches' regimes, right? Okay, Georgia was the end of the road for McElwain, right? I mean, I wouldn't say it's his undoing. I think there was lots of things going on behind the scenes, but that was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back. And then Georgia was the end of the road for Mullen as well, right? This game has a tendency to kind of make or break coaches. Could that be the case here? I don't think so. Okay. I don't think that a loss to Georgia this year costs Coach Napier his job. Georgia is one of the top teams in the entire country. Kirby Smart has that machine rolling down the tracks, right? But a win against Georgia could save his job, right? That is what I want to talk about today. But before we get too deep into it, I want to hear from you guys below in the comments. Should winning the Georgia game, and that's assuming that Napier finds another win this year. Hopefully that's at the very least Florida State, right? Could or should that save his job? Okay, so here are my thoughts. We have said since the summer that 6-6 was going to be good enough to save Coach Napier's job. This is, without a doubt, the hardest schedule in the country. We're about to go into the hardest stretch of the hardest schedule in the country. 6-6 is the benchmark. That means he's got to beat Florida State, and then he's got to steal one from Georgia, Texas, LSU, or Ole Miss, right? One of those. If Florida figures out a way to beat Georgia in Jacksonville on Saturday, that would be a monumental upset, a massive upset, right? Georgia is better than Florida at every position on the field, right? Except maybe where it counts the most. And that might go to DJ Lagway, our true freshman quarterback. So if they upset him, they're doing it with him behind the wheel, right? And I think that that's big because it gives Gator fans a glimpse into the future, right? I think that there's a lot of us that see the potential here with Lagway and some of these young receivers and Jaden Baugh. And, we see where this team could be in a year or two with these athletes. And if we get a little glimpse of the future on Saturday and figure out a way to steal one from a rival who is on paper better than Florida, right? That is huge. I think it's a massive confidence builder, not only for DJ Lagway, but it's a vote of confidence from these players to Coach Napier and maybe to us fans, right? If Lagway has a good game, a good to great game, if he figures out a way to beat the Georgia Bulldogs, I just think that ups the level of excitement for the future. Just want to quickly give some love to BetUS. The Gators are a 16-point dog to Georgia this weekend, and you can bet it now using our code YouTube150 for a 150% bonus on your first deposit and 125% on your next two. All three of those up to $2,000. Appreciate BetUS for their support. And, I personally am of the belief that regardless of who the head coach is at the University of Florida, that DJ Lagway will remain a Gator. I think he wants to be a Gator. I think he's loyal to the logo. I think he feels passionately about returning the program to what it could be. But you can guarantee that he's here for the next year if Coach Napier is retained, right? But he's got to hit these minimum benchmarks to make it that far. And there's a huge win against Georgia as a possibility on the horizon, and it could go a long, long way. Now, for that to happen, the defense has got to continue to trend the right way. We've seen some changes since the bye week with this defense. Is there somebody new calling the defensive plays? I don't know. Coach Napier won't tell us when we're asked, but I'll tell you this. The defense has been called a lot more aggressively since the break. And I think that's almost a positive for Coach Napier. So was there some sort of change that he made during that bye week, signal caller or whatever, that has prompted this difference? I don't know what the change is. I'm not going to claim to know what the changes were that happened, but I will tell you something looks different. And I do think you tip your hat to Napier for figuring out something that he could change to make an immediate impact. This defense has played well since the break. Now, is that because we played less competitive teams than we played prior to the first bye week? Maybe, we didn't feel like we were even in the Miami or the Texas A&M game. But we're about to find out if the defense is still trending in the right direction or if it really was because we played weaker competition. Now, flip side of this coin, could this game cost him his job? I don't think so, unless there's caveat here. You lose by like 30 points or more. I think that could be a really bad thing. Do I think if they lose by 30 or more, they fire him on Sunday? I don't. I think that they probably at this point ride it out till the end of the season, or at least till very close to the end of the season. But let's say they lose by 30. What did it look like? Do you have 2 or 3 massive turnovers so it just gets out of hand late? Or, did somebody, God forbid, get injured? Like, how did we get to it looking so bad score-wise? And did you ever feel like you were in it? Or did it feel like Georgia was in control from the first kickoff? Ultimately, worst case scenario, UF is going to be 4-4 after this game. And this game may decide nothing. Have opportunities later on during the schedule to make a bowl game, save Coach Napier's job, both of those things. But a win would probably come pretty close to just guaranteeing that the Gators retain him. So this game is incredibly massive for more reasons than one. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to know, should a victory against Georgia save Coach Napier's jobs? I appreciate BetUS for their support. We're going to have some massive stuff coming up this week, so make sure you stay tuned. Go Gators.